Stakk Nation, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Brazen.
Hey boy, Double O.
Oh man, Double O.
Yes sir.
Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin and inflation. You know, the interesting thing is we talk about Bitcoin adoption a lot on the channel. Obviously we know it's like this superior asset, right? Top of the level, number one. Oh, dude! Which, by the way, we now have a Stream Deck, Stakk Nation. Okay, so now we can drop things like that, you know. Or if you are Terra Luna, then you know that your world has been blown up by BlackRock. Oh man, I love this thing. Oh wait, was it just a one-time thing, or was it more like a all-out war? Destruction, maximum destruction, man.
I'm feeling the destruction right now, but I can laugh about it. It's okay. It's okay.
Look, this is why you can laugh about it, man. You can laugh about it because overall, in general, right, we've always had a plan, right? And so when you have a plan, and this is just in reference to the broader market, when you have a plan, then you don't get to react when certain things happen, right? Because if you've seen some of our videos, we have videos from a month ago, 2 months ago, right? Or even 5 months ago in January, when we said that these things that are happening right now are going to happen. And so when you're prepared, when these things finally happen, then you have a plan of action, right? To protect your portfolio. Whether if you're going to be averaging down, then you would have already probably been holding some cash so that during these times you can hold on. But again, with something like Terra Luna, man, I'm sorry, there's no help for you there.
I think I was holding cash in Terra Luna so that I could deploy now.
Yes.
But my deploying tool has been destroyed.
Would this qualify as a Black Swan event, by the way?
In the stock market, yeah. In the crypto space, I will consider it an attack on the stable coin, which I'm sure in the near future we'll figure out what's causing all of this mess.
True. Yeah, we'll call it an attack because ultimately that is really what it was. But let's jump into the situation with this video. Obviously, we know that Bitcoin is this asset, right, which we're going to be using to essentially transform the way we do business with each other, changing the finance system altogether. And it's referred to as a hedge against inflation. That's fine. People can call it that. I don't like to think of it as a hedge against inflation, right? Because I think that it is a complete transformation of our current financial system. It's a completely new financial system, right? So, but in the situation where you have a country where there's massive inflation, such as Turkey, you can see that this will be very helpful in an environment like that because ultimately, as we go forward into the future, right, especially considering when you don't know what the leaders are going to do, right, say like in a place like Turkey, then there is no guarantees of what is going to happen. Go ahead.
I like the fact that you picked Turkey because when you think about what's going on in the Middle East and in Europe, Turkey is at the perfect location to kind of give you a futuristic view of what could happen in other places. So if a country like Turkey, or maybe countries like South Africa or Nigeria, which are also experiencing high inflation, are going through what they're going through right now, how does that impact the price of Bitcoin in the long term? So whatever happens to Bitcoin in Turkey can kind of tell you what will happen to Bitcoin in the US.
We have this article here from Blockchain. Tim Fries writes, Bitcoin adoption spikes in Turkey as annual inflation hits 70%. Dude, 70%.
I don't even know how you survive in that economy.
Dude.
How are you not dead? I have no idea.
That's what I'll say to that. It's too much. It's too much. Okay. That is straight up robbery if you ask me. Right? Because how do you even recover from something like that? Well, unless if you buy Bitcoin. But go ahead.
We've been saying this about the US dollar for a while, that the Federal Reserve literally are robbing you of your money every single day because you work really hard for your money and the companies that you work with already have ripped you off for your time, but sometimes paying some people below minimum wage. And those that are still getting paid okay money, which is probably 30-40% of what the CEO makes, some are even 5% of what the CEO makes. You take that, you put it in the bank. And then now they increase interest rates, you have inflation, and the money that you work for cannot even buy you what you plan to buy. That's
Exactly.
minus the taxes that you even have to pay. So basically, is this what you call modern day slavery in a big maximized way?
Hey, you could say so, man. Because uh, I keep going back to this conference we went to in Miami because we met some people there. This was the Mark Moss Market Disruptors Conference, and there were just a bunch of speakers that had some really incredible things to say. I forgot the guy's name, but he said, if you're working for free, obviously it's slavery. So if you're working for if you're working and giving 50% away of your money to someone who is not producing anything, right? You're 50% a slave. So I can see where he's coming from with that argument. I know people counter this by saying things like, well, we all need to contribute to be able to develop to contribute to our economy, right, and to our environment. But we can use things like smart contracts, right, to be able to allocate funds appropriately and distribute them for various things, right, to be distributed to certain entities. I think that this is possible. We have seen that this is, some of the things that smart contracts are capable of, right? So why not do that? Americans are dismayed at the 8.5 annualized inflation rate, right? Crossing the 40-year high. Yet this is small potatoes compared to Turkey's monthly 7.5% and annualized 70%. Sorry, 7.25 and annualized 7% inflation. What options are available in such dire economic conditions for Turkish lira holders? As it turns out, Bitcoin is one of them. Go ahead.
Live in the farm, plant your own food. By the way, if you're not following Mac Moss, it's a great guy. You should follow him. He has this show. He has this seminar, Market Disruptors. Definitely check it out. And this is all coming. This is all making sense. If your hard-earned money is literally dead at 70%,
Right.
It makes sense, man. You better go buy some land and start planting your own food, because if you can't even buy food at this point, how are you going to live?
Incredible.
Now I see why those guys are talking about buying real estate, buying land, buying gold, buying Bitcoin.
Here's the thing: when it comes to buying land, how would you even buy that land if you cannot afford it yet, right? And then we also have a situation like here where you have all these whales buying up all the real estate.
Yeah,
I think
in the US.
that is forcing society to react in a direction that they will get to benefit from it. What do you think?
Yes. It's coming full circle. The dots are connecting now.
Right.
You own nothing and you'll be happy about it because they control everything.
But
and they psychologically control everything, your mind as well.
now, here's the thing. Despite everything that is happening, I think that it is a good point to highlight the exact reason why Bitcoin is here: the ability to have full control of your own wealth, right? And not have your wealth debased based on other people's decisions, right? This is part of what this is about, which is also interesting because we could see that there are many things kind of moving into place, right, that can allow certain possibilities to come about. One of such is Coinbase, right? Recently Coinbase said if they file for bankruptcy, pretty much it's on you, right?
The coin is gone.
Exactly. And so it does not seem like these corporations and the governments are taking the decisions that are exactly helpful for the people. This is something to be paying attention to, because this is exactly why Bitcoin exists, and this is why you should be custodying your own Bitcoin. Because over time, I think we can all agree that, especially when the halving comes about, right? Because when you have people like Peter Schiff who say things like Bitcoin is going to zero, obviously, clearly ignorant, and I think maybe in some possibly intellectual dishonesty as well, because I don't think he truly believes that, because there is the halving when you talk about Bitcoin. Stocks do not have this. So when the halving happens and the reaction to that, and we can see historically every halving cycle, Bitcoin tends to run up, right? Because that supply is now contracted, or the rewards are contracted. And so do these people take this into consideration right? When they speak about Bitcoin the way they do. Now, moving on, we can also see that Bitcoin, or at least Bitcoin adoption, right? Or the market activity of Bitcoin in Turkey has risen significantly. I think this is a good sign as well for Bitcoin. It's a bullish sign.
Yeah. There's another chart that I was looking at this morning that shows the incoming amount of Bitcoin accumulation in the past days, just this week alone. You would think that there will be a lot of people selling out of the positions, but the accumulation has been major. Those sales are those probably from UST trying to recover what's going on over there at the moment. But there's been a lot of accumulation lately.
There has been. I've been accumulating. I had the opportunity to buy Bitcoin at 23K. Did not think that was going to happen. Incredible. Yeah. Well, looky here, man. The dynamics of the Turkish money.
Did you mean 29K? We're not at 23K yet.
Wait, what
you
did
mean
I say?
29K, right? You said 23K.
23K. Oh.
Yeah. You're dreaming about it. We're not there yet.
I'm dreaming about 23K Bitcoin.
We don't want it to get that. We don't want it to get that bad yet.
Hey, no, look, man. If it makes it down there, I'm fine with it, man. I'll buy more. I'll definitely buy more.
Sell your car and buy Bitcoin.
Bro, I will sell my whole life. Okay. Michael Saylor thinks he's leveraged. Boy, he hasn't said nothing yet. The dynamics of the Turkish monetary system are quite revealing for other economies, including the U.S. Just like the Fed in the United States raised rates, right? Raises interest rates to combat inflation, so did Akbal. Now, Akbal is the
Jerome Powell of Turkey.
Is the Jerome Powell of Turkey, right? Yes, head of the Federal Reserve. Who got fired for doing this, by the way? Specifically, he raised the rates from 10.25% to 19% in his 4 months on the job.
Oh, however, 4 months?
Yeah, he was only there for 4 months. So so here's the thing, right? This guy gets in there, he starts raising interest rates because he's like, okay, this is what we need to do. We need to raise these interest rates. This way we can kind of bring the lira back, right? And try to gain some strength. And the leader, right, the president, I keep forgetting, Ed Rogan, right, says, hey, you know what, if you raise these rates, this means the economy is going to slow down. We can't afford that. So he fires him. Wait till you see what happens after he fires him. Insanity. Look at that. So this guy comes in, Akbal, he's in there, he's like, hey man, economy is going to crap, we're going to try to recover this thing. So he starts raising rates, starts tightening, right? And then of course over there they don't have a system like we have here, right? The president can just fire, anyone anytime. So he fires this guy, and you can see at the very top there of this chart, the market drops to a worse position than it ever had since 2008. How do you think the people felt?
Well, first, before I think about what people felt, increasing the interest rate does improve the value of the dollar, right? It helps battle inflation. Mm-hmm. But does not necessarily mean that the value of that dollar is still there. So you cut that off, you lower the interest rates, and boom, either way it's still problematic. So the people in Turkey right now are screwed either way.
Exactly.
Lira is down, and the inflation is still high.
Exactly my point.
Could that happen to the US?
That's why I was saying, that's why I was asking, how do you think these people feel? Because I'm thinking about it as I read this, and I'm like, hey, I'll be pretty pissed, I will feel like, oh, dude, I gotta do this one. I just got this one too.
We are led by very, very stupid people.
I'm just saying, that's how I feel. But, now, as you can see, bro, this is the best thing ever. How did we not get this before, man? This is so dope. But, look, man, this is horrible. I think some things are very clear to me at this point in time, man. A lot of the leaders around the world, right? There was a model that used to work at a certain point in time, but we are at a point, and it was a model that they had control of it as well, right? So they made it work, create inflation, right? Go into recessions, right? So just right. So have this continuous boom and bust cycle.
Yeah,
exactly. Which they are always on the right side of it. It's not the case with Bitcoin. So I think if society can find something that we have control of it, right, where your account will not get frozen out of nowhere, where your wealth will not get debased based on other people's behavior. I
Or
think that is
even war.
100%.
Imagine
Oh,
being
exactly.
in Ukraine or Russia,
Exactly. Oh, war,
just
right?
losing everything.
Yeah. The current system is broken, man. And I think the first way to move forward is to accept what the problem is, right? Embrace what the problem is, and then try to figure out a way to move forward. I think anything short of this is useless. I think all the news articles and everything else like that we see is not really helping us move forward. You know,
Makes me think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it makes me think about all the different blockchains out there that are trying to solve the current society problem through,
Yeah.
programmable code.
Right.
They want to be decentralized, but it's not really decentralized because you can code it to still be discriminative. But
Yeah.
when you use stuff like Bitcoin, which is a lot more transparent and it's not centralized,
Of
I
course.
think that could actually solve issues like voting issues, fund allocations for cities and states.
There's a lot. There's a lot that can be done. But here's the crazy
Governance
thing
can be
about it.
automated. Yeah.
The incredible thing about it is all of this can be done on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So why not just do it on
Yes,
Bitcoin?
makes sense. Yes, it's starting to
Right.
make sense to me. Even though I'm still invested in those guys, I'm starting to see why are we even doing those guys now? Because
Yeah. No, I mean, look, man. I think your investments ultimately is all based on the information, right? And so, it's not like every altcoin out there is going to just go to zero. There's potential for that to happen, but it's not like they're all going to go to zero. So, in the meantime, as we find out information and we keep rolling into these things, I think everyone kind of also needs to be really looking for what can go wrong, because there is a lot that can go wrong, right?
Yep.
Look for what can go wrong and determine if that is something that you're okay with. I'm totally okay with Bitcoin going to zero. That's a decision you have to make way ahead of time, because if not, when it goes to zero, and then I guess you do your emotions at that point in time, which is not good. But let's switch gears here, man, because I think this is also something interesting. In the article, same article which we were checking out there, we can see that there is also this idea of Bitcoin and its correlation with different things. We've heard gold, the S&P, and some say the Nasdaq, like in this situation here. So even though in this chart they have an error, they put Ethereum instead of the Nasdaq, right? But that's not to worry, because we found it. We pulled up the charts: Nasdaq, Bitcoin, and the S&P. You have Bitcoin there in the the orange lines, and then we have the Nasdaq in the teal, hanging out there. And of course, the candles are going to be the candles are the Nasdaq, and the S&P is the teal lines which we have there. Now, if we take a look at this, we will see that the correlation was maybe around April of 2020 to about now.
I think it's on and off. So right now it's pegged. I will say there's some kind of correlations at the moment.
Right.
It's done that a couple of times in the past. So I don't think it's always correlated. I think there's just times when it's on and off. And at the moment, you cannot always say it is correlated. But because Bitcoin is a technology, it's also a way of life. It's a psychological thing. Bitcoin solves a lot of things.
Yeah.
I could see why it could be treated like tech by the big institutional investors, and you could see the correlation at the moment.
The question I always ask myself in this situation is, well, Bitcoin is a global asset, and so what happens over time as more and more people adopt Bitcoin? I think the rest of the world rolling into Bitcoin will change the patterns.
So I will add to that by saying that the rest of the retail world, once informed or educated about the strength and the purpose of Bitcoin, is that amount of money big enough to fight the funds like BlackRock and Warren Buffett's funds and stuff like that. Because those are the guys that control the movements of the market. And it will not be interesting to find out if BlackRock was involved with what's going on in USD. Old money is fighting back. And USD just happens to be the one that took the bite at this moment.
I wonder who is next, man. I need to go.
Yes. I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned about all the other altcoins out there. They might be in serious trouble.
Yeah.
This is the first one to go.
Yeah. That's definitely a tricky situation. Something to keep a close eye on. I just need them to just bring this thing back to $1, at least for 1 second,
Yeah.
so I can exit. Because this,
Same here, man.
you know, it's crazy too, because I never buy altcoins, and then like the one time I'm like, oh, let me hop in this situation here. It's like
Get some interests.
they're
With
like,
17% interest, and my money is gone. Plus my
dude,
Luna.
what interest? What interest?
Jeez.
Now here's the other part about this. There is this idea that there's an arbitrage opportunity here, where you could buy this thing where it is right now, and then when the peg gets fixed, you make some profits. If that is the case, you know, I think that would be cool. But do I want to average down into something that was not even supposed to be doing what it's doing right now? Because I've heard a lot of people talk about this.
My rule of averaging down in markets like this is average down on things that are strong that you know will come back around.
Right.
Not average down on things that are iffy and questionable. So with the stock market and the crypto space, I only average down on very, very strong technologies like Bitcoin, buying Tesla,
Yeah,
buying PLTR, although that thing is just pissing me off right now.
I know. Dude. I've been looking at it too, and I'm like, oh, I gotta average down. But yeah, it is what it is.
Neo destroyed me, man, because I bought it at $3, went all the way to $70, did not sell it. Now it's
where
back
is
at
it now?
freaking $13.
Is it $13 now?
I have to go look at like $21.
I mean, dude, I was not even expecting it to be anywhere near that. You know, even below 20. But you know, it is what it is. Look, ladies and gentlemen, let us know, what are your strategies for this situation, right?
Yeah.
Are you buying more Bitcoin? Are you selling, panic selling, right? That's also an option as well. Or are you just hodling, right, for the long run? And what are your thoughts on Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation? Let us know in the comments down below. We would like to engage with you. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. All of that good stuff. Double O, any final thoughts there, sir?
Yeah, tomorrow is Thursday. We'll be on Gentleman of Crypto as usual.
Oh, it is? Is it Thursday already?
Oh, well, about to be Thursday already.
Yes, it is going to be Thursday.
Check us out at 9 a.m. Eastern Time Central. We'll be there to give you guys the technical analysis.
Yes.
If you got anything that you want us to check out, definitely check us out there.
Definitely. Tweet us. Hit us on Twitter if you want us to do TA on something, because sometimes the chat is slow and we don't get all of it. So, yes, definitely tweet us on Twitter if you want us to do TA on something. I think Bitcoin TA tomorrow. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Yeah? Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, present out.
Emotional damage.
Oh, shit, I have that one too. Hang on, I got it.
Emotional damage.
USD.
Dude, hey, man. We're losing on that. Oh, snap.
Oh, jeez.